Hey friend, Femke here. Let's talk today about design crits. Now, I've talked a lot on this channel about reviewing and presenting your work, but I want to talk today about the more informal way of getting feedback just from your immediate design team. And we call that at Uber a design crit. A design crit is essentially a informal, unstructured way to get feedback from your design peers on your work. Now, unlike a design review, a design crit is a great place to come and show any work in progress. It doesn't matter what stage you are in the design process. You could have really early stage work, you could have final, more high fidelity work. It doesn't matter. The point of the crit is to come to the session with work that you're looking for feedback on. So a design crit shouldn't be this whole stressful, high stakes situation thing. Normally, I don't prepare at all for my design crits. I come to it and I open up my Figma file and show the raw, sort of messy work. Often I'm showing maybe different explorations and maybe I'm looking for feedback on a direction that I cannot choose which direction I want to go. Or maybe I want to show a prototype and kind of get other people's thoughts on how things are transitioning and making sure that we're consistent with the design system. It really can be an opportunity for any kind of feedback you want. What I like about crits is that it's just with my immediate design team, and I recommend that you have no more than maybe 6 designers in a crit. Let me tell you a bit about how we structure our crits at Uber. So we have design crit twice a week on my team, and it's always at the same time, so it's really consistent. Within each crit, there are 3 slots that you can claim, each being 20 minutes long. And this is intentional. It's short and it's sweet. When I feel like I need some feedback from my peers on my work, I just go into the calendar invite and update it to claim a crit spot. I just put my name and also the project or what I want feedback on. I show up to crit, it's really informal. I just open up my Figma file and I sort of show my raw, messy work and focus on where I need feedback on. When it's my turn in crit, I open up my Figma and I always start by telling my peers what I need feedback on. This is really helpful as it gives your peers a sort of lens as to how to view your work and what to focus on as you're talking. There's always so many things we could dive deep into, but it's only 20 minutes, so it's super short and sweet, and I want to focus specifically on what I need feedback on. After I've introduced the project, it's then good to set aside some time for clarifying questions. So before I kind of dive into the feedback, I'll ask, are there any clarifying questions before we get started? And my teammates are really good at this. They'll be like, yeah, I have a clarifying question on blah, blah, blah. This is just an opportunity for the participants to sort of ask any clarifying questions if they maybe want some more context or they're lacking a bit of understanding before you start diving deep into the feedback. Then it's time to dive into the feedback. Now, hopefully your participants have practiced active listening. This is now your turn to listen to their feedback. I find sometimes this ends up becoming a bit of a jam, or I'll kind of live design as my design peers are giving me feedback or ideas. I'll start trying it out actually live on the screen. Oh, do you mean like this? Or try, moving things around. It's kind of a nice way to sort of get some new ideas from your teammates and kind of try them out sort of live and see if you can come to some sort of, maybe you don't have a solution at the end, but you at least feel confident moving forward and you feel closer to where you want to be. Now, before COVID, we would do these live in the office. We would sort of gather around somebody's desk and kind of, point and talk and speak out loud, and it was really collaborative. Now that COVID is a thing, we're doing these virtually and remotely on Zoom. Basically, the way we've adapted is I just share my screen if I'm looking for feedback, and I also share a link to the Figma file so people can jump in and leave comments if they want to as I'm presenting. But yeah, that's kind of how we've been doing it remotely. I want to stress that crits should be only with designers. This is not the time to get cross-functional feedback from your stakeholders or from engineers or whoever it is you're working with. This is a great time to go deep into the design feedback and discussions. Maybe it's things about the UI, maybe it's about how you're using the design system, maybe you're trying to choose between 3 different options that you have for which direction to take the design. It's really a great opportunity to get into the weeds about some of the design decisions and get feedback from your design peers. As a participant of a design crit, it's really important that you practice active listening and you wait for the designer to finish presenting their work. It's not an opportunity to be judgmental and be really prescriptive. It's really about trying to help your colleague get a better design solution or help them solve the problem or the challenge that they're currently going through. So some good questions to ask are, have you thought about this? Or why did you choose this direction? Or what's the rationale behind this decision? Really trying to understand the work that they've already done to get to this point and why they've made certain decisions before being, actually, I don't recommend you should be prescriptive at all in your feedback. It's really about asking a lot of questions and trying to help guide them towards a decision or a solution that they feel confident about. So that's design crits. Really informal, really unstructured, just with your immediate design team, and it's a great place to get design-specific feedback. I really look forward to our crits every week. It's one of my favorite meetings. It's a fun time to sort of hang out with the other designers and sometimes get a little nerdy in our design discussions. If you don't currently have an opportunity to present your work in this format at your workplace, then I highly recommend introducing these informal crits. If you do something different, I would love to hear what you do with your team and what works well for you. Let me know in the comments. Happy to have a discussion about it. All right, until next time, friend. Bye.